And we're live.
Well, good afternoon, Mesa Public Schools. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's Facebook Live series. This will be the last Facebook Live event for this school year. So we're going to take a break from the summer, and then we have every plan to start up again in the next school year. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for an amazing school year. We are ready to go with graduation and all of the end of the year celebrations. It has been an amazing school year, even with all of the trials and tribulations that we've been in. So this is just a great opportunity for me to thank you, our community, our staff, and our students who are watching Facebook Live this afternoon. I'm Andy Forlis, the very proud superintendent at Mesa Public Schools. And today we are going to be talking about, so what happens after school's out? And that's our summer academy and our transition programs. So I am joined by two amazing principals. This is Gabby Buckley. She is the principal at Dobson High School. I'll share a little bit about Gabby with you. She's been a career educator, a teacher, as well as the principal. And a fun fact, she's the principal at Dobson High School and also graduated from Dobson High School. She is currently also a parent in our school district, so she has multiple perspectives that she will be able to share with us today. And Mr. Mark Andrews is our principal at Summit Academy, and he's unique as well. He is the principal of a K-8 school, elementary, and then a junior high school. So he's doing a lot of this transition and summer school work at an elementary level and also at that junior high level. And it's important to let you all know that Mr. Andrews is a Westwood graduate. So we've got deep roots here in Mesa Public Schools, and are excited that you're able to join us this afternoon. So we're going to jump in. We had some questions that came to us ahead of time. And so we're going to jump in with the first one. And that first question is, can every child attend summer academy at their school? So that's the first question. And I think you can anticipate that second question we got is, can my child attend summer academy classes at a different campus? So let's start with that first one. Can every child attend summer academy at their school? Would you like to start with that, Mr. Andrews?
Yeah, of course. And any child is welcome. It's kind of like Sunday dinner. There's always room at the table, so to speak. So anyone that wants to come to Summer Academy, come on over to Summer Academy. We've had parents that plan on attending next year that aren't currently enrolled that we're getting into Summer Academy. But anyone that wants to go to Summer Academy is welcome. And anywhere you want to go to Summer Academy that's convenient for you at a Mesa Public School, you are welcome.
Excellent. So you want to talk a little bit about, why don't we talk about what's happening at Dobson?
Sure. We are running our summer academy, and normally we do credit recovery based options for our students who need to get credit back. But this year we are running options. We've got some coursework that we're doing online through GradPoint. We're also offering in-person math, Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. We are also doing an Avid Bridge program from the junior highs to the high schools to make sure that the 8th grade students feel prepared to take their Algebra 1 when they get here. And then we are also offering some unique opportunities at some art classes and other electives where students sometimes, aren't able to put those into their schedule for a lot of reasons, sports or performing arts. And so I know our art class is filling up right now, and that's pretty exciting.
Throughout this pandemic, the one thing that we continue to talk about is the need for our kids to feel connected to their school and to feel success. And so it's exciting to hear that there are classes, not only academic classes, but those that are going to pique the interest of our kids. So let's talk about this idea of a child attending summer academies at a different campus. So it looks a little different at the elementary level. So do you want to talk about that, Mr. Andrews?
The summer academies, I think every school is making it a little unique to their community, and the whole purpose is let's re-engage some of our remote students that will be returning next year. We want to help that transition for those kids that may have chose to stay home during the last year. We want to make sure that they feel comfortable with the whole academy experience this summer to not only talk about academics, but the social emotional part, the interpersonal skills part, the getting used to working with other students again. And for the kids that have been coming to school, a nice extension of the school year. It's again academic based, but it's also getting those other skills in there that they need to be successful. Executive skills, working together, problem solving, how we communicate, how we take turns, how we work together as groups, and a lot of problem solving stuff going on. But it's not the traditional summer academy. It's more of let's really get kids comfortable again with going to school if they've been in a remote environment, and the kids that have been going here, let's give them a little bit more of a year that was interrupted, to be real honest.
I think that's important as we talk about our typical summer schools at the elementary and the junior high level. They have not been at all schools. And what is unique this year is that we have a summer academy at every one of our high schools, or every one of our schools, elementary, junior high, and high school. And as Mr. Andrews mentioned, that schools are designing their academies to meet the interests and the unique needs of their community. But we do have some regional programs. So a music camp at a particular school, you could attend if your child wants to attend a summer camp, a music camp at another school, they certainly can do that as long as there's room. So anything you'd like to add, Mrs. Buckley?
I think it might not be well known yet, but we have a unique opportunity on Dobson's campus because we will also be hosting a district-wide high school summer school. So we are going to have a lot of kids on campus, which is going to be really exciting for us because a large campus during the summertime is a little bit odd when there's not a lot of students around. So we're really happy to welcome our community ed partners to our campus. And now that there are two district-wide summer schools going on, east side will be Red Mountain and west side will be Dobson. And that's another opportunity for students to be able to get credits or to move forward and get ahead in anything they would like. But I also know our community partner with Westwood is doing some really unique opportunities as well with some electives that they're offering. And we definitely work with that campus. We work with all of our Big Six campuses and our success schools to make sure that our students get the credit. That's a great part about being in Mesa. You can go anywhere, you can get your credit, and it's going to so easily transfer to the school that you need it to go to. And I think that's the one thing we want to make sure our students understand is staying in Mesa for as much as you possibly can is the best way to go.
Such a good point. And that's a question that has come up. Uh, when students attend the high school classes, will they receive grades and will they receive credit? And so
Yeah.
thank you for
Yep, they
sharing.
will.
Absolutely, they will. And so let's talk about the elementary or the junior high. What about grades at the summer academy?
What about grades? Well, there are academics taught in the summer academy. Like I said, we're going to be teaching the basic skills, but it's not going to be a drill and kill. When you talk about past summer school experiences for kids, a lot of time it was the kids that needed to be remediated. They might just be a little bit behind and they need a little catching up or a little refinement of their skills. This year, there's going to be academics. There's going to be academics as far as grading. Where you get an A, where you get a B. It's going to be about progress. It's going to be about coaching. It's going to be about refining those skills when the academic basis, but it's also really going to be a lot about learning to do school, learning to get ready for high school. I always talk about at the junior high level, our job is to get them ready for Dobson and for Dobson or any other Mesa public school. That if we do our job well at 7th and 8th grade, the kids are going to go to high school and they're going to be like, hey, this isn't that hard. We can do it. So we're doing our best to get the kids ready for the next grade level this summer, but also to ultimately be successful in high school at the junior high campus. And that transfers down to the elementary. We're getting them ready for the next grade level. And we're very fortunate to have a ton of teachers that are interested in teaching summer school. So the kids in the summer that, again, might have been in the remote environment get to start to meet the teachers on campus, get to get comfortable with campus, so they can start the school year with as little anxiety as possible to be successful.
That's when we talk about getting a group of elementary teachers together with junior high teachers, and we say, the elementary teachers say, so what do my kids need to do to be really successful when they get to 7th and 8th grade? It's always about study skills. It's about time management, all advocating for yourself. And then that same thing rings true when you have junior high teachers talking with high school folks, high school teachers saying, we want them to have the study skills. We want them to make sure that they are well acclimated. So please know that the summer academies have that focus as well, not just the academics, but also that what we talk about is transition. So let's talk a little bit about what students could expect transitioning from into Dobson. So a transition, some of the transition plans that you have in place?
Awesome. So we normally run a freshman orientation. We've been doing that for as long as I can remember, which is a great way to acclimate our freshmen onto campus. They do small groups. They get to find out who their counselors are, where things are on a large campus. Sometimes you don't know, the biggest thing I know that I worried about was, where is my student going to eat lunch? And so we tour the kids all around. They've got student mentors that work with them. But this year being a unique year, we've talked about we need to acclimate our students who have been remote, who may not have been to campus in more than a year, or are just getting to campus for the very first time. On most of the campuses in Mesa, they look beautiful, but they can be very daunting on the inside and trying to figure it out. I went to Summit Academy, and you don't know that there are two levels to that building as a junior high student. It's just underground. So, it's oftentimes just allowing them to walk around and be able to find their classes. So we are going to run a transition for our returning students or students who might be coming into us as a 10th, 11th, or senior to Dobson. We want to make sure that their families feel acclimated to Mesa Public Schools, that they understand Parent Portal, that they know, what they need to provide to us, maybe what fees are going to be assessed in certain classes. And in different ways that we can help with that. So our transition will actually be the week prior to students returning, and normally and a lot of the freshman orientation programs run 1 to 2 days prior to the first day of school.
Gabby, I think you looked at like everything we're doing at Summit, but just use the word seventh graders.
I did. I stole it.
Seventh graders instead. I think she was looking at everything. Yeah, we're also going to do a lot of parent orientations next year. You go back to last March. Last March everything kind of started, and so we're at that place where all the seventh graders will have a transition program for 3 different days, just in mornings, a couple hours each day. Get to see their classes, get to see their teachers. It's funny you mentioned that about the basement. That is always, and then you think the basement's going to be this really tiny little thing, and you go in there and it's just enormous. And everybody
Yeah.
says, "Oh my gosh, it's a whole other school down here." And it's funny because when they leave from junior high to high school, they've had a little bit of taste, to junior high. So they've had a little bit of a taste of that. But the sixth graders come into seventh grade, they're going from one teacher with like 25 kids they see every day, and now they're going for 6 or 7 teachers, 25 different students in each of their classes, and just the worry of, will I have enough time between classes to get there? Yes, you'll have more than enough time, and we will be moving you quickly because you're lollygagging. But that just those little things that they just don't know. How do I get from class to class? Where are all my classes? Where do I eat lunch? It's exactly what Gabby said. It's just all those fine things that we as adults take for granted that an incoming students of seventh grade, ninth grade, especially even kindergarten, when you talk about transitions, they just don't have any kind of prior knowledge about.
So building that comfort before school starts is really going to be a great asset to our kids as they come in this year. And so, are there other tips that you can share with parents, whether their children are coming into kindergarten, they're coming into junior high, or coming into high school, or continuing on in any of these grades? What would be some of the lessons learned or tips that you would like to share with them?
Well, from a parent point of view, for the incoming seventh graders, I would tell parents if they don't have a dog to get one, so they can go on lots and lots of walks, lots and lots of walks, and to have lots and lots of patience with your seventh and eighth graders as they figure out who they are, where they belong, who their peer group is, as they grow. Junior high years, I just absolutely love the junior high years now that all my kids are in their 20s. And I just can can be like, yeah, dealt with that. Yeah, I was there. It's just a very, very unique time in a child's life, and especially coming out of the last year that we've had. There's just going to be a lot of communication between the school and parents. Get that parent portal. Stay up to date every day with what's going on with your students, so there are no surprises. And every educator gets into this job for kids, so we want parents to communicate with us. We want to know what's going on at home. We want to know if there's something we need to address. So I would tell parents, do not hesitate for any reason, even if you think, well, I don't need to tell the school that. I don't need them to know that. Just if a kid is struggling with anything, especially that affects school, we have Mesa Public Schools does such a nice job with resources. We have so much support staff, and we really want the kids to be successful, but we know that it's so much more than academics. So I would just tell parents, you just need to reach out to the school. And if you don't know who to call, you just call that secretary at that front desk, and we'll get you connected with an adult that can help you as a parent, help your child be a successful student.
Great advice not to let things go too long. If you start to feel something's not right, don't let it go too long. It's a whole lot harder to change the course when it's been going on. We've had a negative impact for too long. So great advice. So Gabby, what advice do you have for parents that are first-time high school parents?
Well, it's going to be okay. They will definitely have enough time to get to their next class. I always tell everyone we are the size of Disneyland proper, and sometimes some days it feels like that. We get a lot of steps in, but the kids are going to be fine. And I know it seems like a lot of students are on one campus, but really your student is only interacting with the same group of kids. Like it's like the Truman Show. They say the same kids in the same hallways every day as they trek around. Rarely do they go outside of their hamster way of doing things. So it's not as daunting as it seems. I know the high schools in Mesa are kind of like small cities, but it's a beautiful thing because we are so representative and diverse that every campus is that we are like subsections of the state and the nation, which is awesome. It allows your students to learn how to work collaboratively, to be with people with differing points of view, and to learn how to work through things effectively. The other thing I always tell parents is this is not the time to not check in on them. This is not the time to let them say, Mom, can you not check my parent portal for a whole quarter? I promise I'll be
Trust
fine.
me, trust me. Yeah.
No, don't do it. And even when they're a senior, that's one of the last times that you can really check in on them to make sure that they're on track. And one of the worst things to ever have to tell a parent is, for the whole last semester, your student's been off track. And, we might not be looking at getting to graduation on time. Um, so don't believe your students when they say that they have it all in the bag. A lot of our kids do, and they're great kids, but there's just no need to have to stop checking in on them to make sure. They still need their parents and their support system and their guardians and whoever they are with to be there for them and to encourage them when it gets difficult, because there are times, there are months, and there are years that sometimes are difficult for students. The junior year tends to be one of those wild ones where students are just feeling the pressure, and it's really hard for them, but to know that they're being supported by their teachers and their trusted adults is a really important thing to put in them, even when they don't think that they're exhibiting that they don't want to be taken care of. They 110% do. So their actions are not indicative of their like feelings. They're very complicated in high school.
But Gabby, you hit it on the head. As a parent of four, all have graduated high school and college. The junior year is just so spot on with the high school experience, where as a parent you need to step it up as a parent and be as involved as you can to help them navigate that year.
You know, the junior year is so important. And I also think about the ninth grade year. Uh, as a middle school teacher, lots of feedback that I received from kids who had moved on to the high school and parents. And then when I had my own children that went to high school, I realized there were some things that I could have done in middle school and talked about. Um, in junior high, your grades matter on a report card, but in high school, they matter for credit. And you don't earn that credit unless you earn a passing grade. And how many credits do you need? And what are you in charge of? And how you negotiate all of that. And even the calculation of how a grade is calculated. Oftentimes, kids struggle with. So, as incoming freshmen, those are great conversations to start having because of that big switch from a report card to earning credit, because that credit leads to that diploma that is a gateway to the next chapter of their academic career and then into their profession. So those
And
are such
can
important.
I add, that is not a
Please.
one-time only conversation.
Oh,
It is that is a conversation that has to almost happen weekly of
that's a
you
repeat,
remember.
repeat, repeat. Yes.
Yeah. Because even now I see some freshmen and I'm like, "Hey, did you remember that counts?" They're like, "What?" Like, "No,
Well,
you have to pass
and just
that class."
And just so you know, Gabby, we start that in 6th grade because we
I
have
know
students
it.
that go over to the 7th grade, and we talk about, if you want to do what you want to do, you need to do what you need to do, and what you need to do is, yeah, every class builds upon each other, and every class has prerequisites. And so when you get it was on the morning announcements today, again, when you get to Dobson, you want to get those classes you signed up for, so you need to do what you need to do because every class
It's
matters.
yeah, it's that darn frontal lobe.
A darn
It,
It's
frontal
not
lobe.
being fully developed.
it
And
just
our,
it
our
does not
counselors get into classes.
match.
Yeah, no, our counselors get into classes and talk about it. It's preached daily, like you said, Gabby. It is preached daily.
Yeah, and all with a loving heart, because we want our kids to cross
Always.
that finish line. That on-time graduation is so important for them. So we're going to switch back, and our very last question is going to be, what would a typical summer academy day look like at the elementary, junior high, and then let's paint a picture for high school. So Mark, you want to start us off at the elementary level?
Yeah, so again, it's not the typical summer school. We're trying to do some things a little differently to really. I hate to use the word fun. When you think of fun, you think of chaos. You know what I mean? You think of chaos and kids doing whatever they want. But we want the kids to go home every day and want to come back the next day. And we're really excited about our enrollment numbers. They're just increasing every day. And so what we're doing is we're doing a lot of team building, a lot of collaboration. Not sit and gets. It's not a sit and get summer school. It's an active participation summer school with movement, with different teachers, where yes, there's going to be academics, but there's going to be arts, there's going to be music, there's going to be activities that are PE based at the elementary. At the junior high, we're going to start with an assembly hour right after breakfast. We get breakfast every morning. We get lunch served also for the kids. But we're going to start with an assembly hour right after breakfast, where it's going to be team building exercises. Where they're going to have groups of kids, and we may change it. We're still working. We're going to do a lot of planning next week with summer school, and the basic framework is the first 45 minutes on the junior high. Everyone's going to be together. We're going to have some guest speakers. We're going to have team building. We're going to have some activities that they are using problem solving skills, but it's going to be friendly competitions. And then we're going to move into moving to different classes for different things that are going to help them be better the next school year. And again, we're really thinking a lot about our remote students that have had a year at home with basically a one-on-one aid. Basically they've had a parent or somebody there that they can turn to at any minute to get some kind of assistance, or they have not been with a bunch of kids. So we're going to do a lot of activities to acclimate them back into the regular school setting. But fun is the word we're trying not to use, but we do want to make it very, very fun and very exciting for the kids, not your typical sit and get type of summer school on both campuses.
Excellent. I think it's a really great opportunity for us to learn as we try a new model. And I have a feeling that we're going to carry many of these new strategies forward. So talk to us about high school. What's going to happen at the high school, Gabby? What's a typical day?
Well, I wish it were just as fun as what Mark was describing, but we have these darn
Yeah.
Darn
seat
credits.
time.
Yeah, darn
That
credits.
darn diploma. Yeah, so our students have to require a certain number of seat hours in order to receive credit, and that's by state law and by board policy. So all of our students who are sitting for classes, we have a morning and an afternoon session, and I believe every campus is working about the same way. But I taught summer school for years in Mesa, and the worst is it sit and get for 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah.
So the teachers are really well versed, and I would love to say and praise the administrators that do the district-wide summer school, because I learned a lot from them before I facilitated this on my own campus. And that's Karen Ulati and Kelly Berg. And they talk a lot about how are you going to structure your classroom so that students are moving around a lot more, that they're not just kind of melting into their desks, that they're getting up and they're doing things, or you're switching the activities every 20 to 30 minutes, so that it's a little less stagnant in the room. So anytime that there's a community, like, some collaboration and the students are moving around, we encourage them to, get up, go outside for a quick break, anything to kind of jog the memory back up to what we're supposed to be doing, because teenage brains don't last very long in one space. So you have to kind of re-engage them all the time. So we have a lot of dedicated and hardworking teachers. I'm really impressed with the staff that we got this year. I'm impressed with the amount of teachers who want to continue to work through the summer this year. I gotta tell you, I don't know if I would have been one after the kind of year that they've had, which just goes to show you the kind of dedication that they have to their students and to getting them to the
Agreed.
finish line. So it's gonna satisfy the seat time, and it's also not gonna be terribly mundane.
It sounds fun. It sounds fun, Gabby.
That sounds like disguised fun, right?
It's
I
disguised
I
fun.
think so. It's
Yeah,
I think
organized
so.
fun.
There, you
disguised
got it.
fun.
While earning credit.
Yes,
I
while
love
earning
it.
credit. Yes.
I
Yeah, I
love
have kind
that.
of that advantage on you, Gabby. There is no credit, so yeah, we.
Right, I know.
I'm sorry you had to follow that. Sorry about that. We should have done it the opposite
We
way.
should have
We're having
flopped
a
that.
circus, we're gonna have like a water slide.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't
As
mention
they're
that.
they're
I
measured,
didn't
that's a
mention that.
math lesson, right?
Yeah, yeah. Little roller
So
coasters. It's fine.
so we do have one question that's coming in from the community on Facebook is, will there be nursing support for students that need it during summer academies? What will that look like on each of your campuses?
It will, I mean, that, yes, there'll be nursing support. If a child has some health issues or needs help or has a medical condition that needs attention, there'll be nurses there. There'll be some medical professionals there to help out.
Yeah, we also have our nurse on campus, and I believe our social worker and at least one counselor daily will be on campus.
And we also have our counselor, our SRO is going to join us.
Yep.
Our security guard is going to join us. It sounds funny when you say security guard, but our security guard is a big part of our community and does a whole lot of mentoring in different and gets the kids acclimated again to the campus. So we're going to have all the support staff that typically you would see during a regular school year on our campus.
Well, I cannot thank you both enough for your leadership and for your forethought around designing a summer academy that is going to help us to recover some of the lost opportunities that our kids have had throughout this pandemic. So, boy, we are so lucky to have you in Mesa Public Schools, and look at these fine graduates who are doing great things with future graduates. And I want to say thank you very much. We are coming to the end of our time here, and couldn't have been more proud than to be able to spend this time with you today learning about transition in summer academies. And to all of our families, please check in with your principal to see if they've got space if you have not yet enrolled, especially at our high schools. We've got space at high schools for kids to earn that credit, but at the elementaries and junior highs, it's very specific to their campus. And if you want a place, I'm sure we will find it for you. So
We will make a place at the table, as I say. We will make it work.
that's what we love about you, Mr. Andrews. Thank you so very much. Gabby, Mark, have a wonderful afternoon. And to our Facebook community, I appreciate your time with us this afternoon.
Thank you, Dr.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gabby.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.